I appreciate the city attorney's time spent to put this together. For the sake of clarification, for those who may not be into reading and understanding code, Chapter 12, paragraph 12.0406, city regulations, I think pretty well covers the biggest concerns that this table and other people have had, and it basically says Parks and Recreation Commission and each of its projects shall at all times be subject to the applicable provision of this code relating to building and construction, planning, and zoning. In this regard, the Commission shall be subject to the respective jurisdictions of the Building Inspector, Historic District Commission, the Planning Commission, and the Board of Zoning Adjustments wherever and whenever applicable. As long as they're doing that, I don't see a problem.
Do we want to add anything?
I'll entertain any questions, but I think the opinion you have restates what I said at the last meeting and should give you a little clarification as to where that comes from, citing the statute and the ordinance.
Ms. Ballance?
I just want to go on record as saying that it bothers me that we have such legislation that something as important as parks, which belong to the people have absolutely no recourse as far as what goes on in their parks. A commission, which is appointed and not elected by the voters or responsible to the voters, can more or less do anything they want with the parks, and the people have absolutely no say. That bothers me. But if that is what it is, I guess we get what we get.
Any further? Okay. No further, then we'll move on. Do you have anything, Mr. Pinto?
The only thing I'd like to say is I'd like to encourage the Parks Department and the commissions to follow the code. If you look at 12.04.04D, I'm not sure that I've even seen a quarterly report of the operation, accounting of receipts and disbursements to the mayor and city council. Those are the times that I think that we can jump in and show our concern instead of, all of a sudden having a project on the table and go, gee, we didn't know anything about it. I think if everybody follows the code and does their job, and we address it as we go through that, there's not going to be any surprises.
Any further? All right. If not, we move on to new business. Under new business, number 1, discussion of procurement of a mower for the cemetery. Ms. Ballance, Ms. Alexander.
Move to discuss.
Okay. All right. Yes, sir. For the record, Mr. Pownall is recusing himself from discussion, and he has left the room for the time being. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Gentlemen, y'all come on up. Who made the second on that?
I'll second.
Okay. I thought there was a second already. Okay. All in favor? I guess we already did that one too. Okay. Come on up, guys. State your name again for the record.
Ken Fugate. Presently, I'm the chair of the Cemetery Commission.
Mary Ann Pownall, 6 Mart Circle, Eureka Springs, Secretary Treasurer of the Cemetery Commission.
Go ahead, Tom.
Tom Reynolds, caretaker of the Eureka Springs Cemetery.
Okay. Plead your case, as they say in the...
Okay. Well, I thought that you guys were going to be discussing... Yes, ma'am.
Sure.
Yes,
I'd
go
like
ahead.
to open discussion, please.
Go right ahead.
First off, one of the reasons I wanted to discuss the Cemetery Commission is I am concerned that they don't have any budget whatsoever to work with at the cemetery. I feel it's an important property to the city, very important historically, and they need a budget to be working with to some degree. They don't have any. I know we've got a budget thing, our mid-year coming up, and so I'd like to see that we could get a special portion put into that discussion to talk about the cemetery commission and what their needs are, because there definitely are needs. I've been speaking with all of the commissioners. I had plans to go out this week and just wasn't able to with all the holiday hoo-ha, and of course they were quite busy out there. But I know that with certain difficulties they've been going through, and they don't have anything. The gentleman who is Mr. Reynolds, who's working at the cemetery, is using his own tools, personal tools. They don't have the money to buy those. They don't have the money to plant flowers. They have about $35 a month they're getting from a CD that was, that was part of an inheritance.
There were 3 CDs that were donated with stipulations that we could only use the interest, not spend the principal. Now I'm trying to research who gave that money and get in writing the guidelines for the use of this. I spoke with June Westfall today. She cannot remember the name of the people, so I am trying to find out the definite. But as long as I've been on the commission, and as long as people in town that are connected with the cemetery, it's always been that we cannot spend the principal. We can only spend, and it's about $35.
I wish. It's $26.71 per month, interest generated each month.
And the only other source of income that we have are the sale of deeds.
Okay.
And that varies, some months we'll sell maybe 6, maybe 2 or 3 months will go by without selling any.
Right. Okay.
And then we have the water bill, electrical bill, gas bill, stuff like that. Fuel.
We're broke.
Yes, ma'am. Or, I'm sorry.
Ms. Ballance?
I agree with Ms. Alexander. It's the cemetery is historical. People have their loved ones laid to rest there. For some people, it's a very sacred place. I do truly believe it needs to be well taken care of. And a man can't do a job taking care of something unless he has the equipment he needs. So I think it's very important for us to try to find some money and help these people so they can do the job that they need to do and make the cemetery something that this city can be proud of, and the people whose loved ones are laid to rest there can feel comfortable that it's being taken care of, well taken care of. They're actually buying the plots, yes? So they actually have an investment in that, and just like a condo or a landowners association, they expect certain things to be taken care of, and I would really like to see us step up and do the best we can to help these people have the equipment they need to take care of the job.
Ms. Alexander?
Also, I personally am taking an interest with, researching my ancestry, and I know it's become a big deal in the nation as a hobby. And we're having people coming to Eureka Springs specifically to research their ancestry and go to the cemetery. Now, this is something that's a tourist draw, that's a visitor draw. And so this is more than just a property laying on the outside of the city. This is something that we need to look at as a viable property that can, we could use to draw people. I mean, I'm not talking making it a park or But it has that aspect. It's beautiful, it's serene, it's lovely. Let's make sure it's well kept. Anyway, I just want to bring this up, bring it forward. They don't have the equipment they need. They have a lawnmower that's breaking down too much. And I've talked to Jim, and I know everything that's going on, and he's working on it. Yes, I know, but we're having issues still. And I know I'm keeping up with him, and we're going to see what we can do about that. But what I'd like to see from the cemetery commission is for you to please put together a very thorough report for us of all your receipts and what you're going through daily.
It's ready. I mean, I have it.
Bring it in,
Yeah,
please,
I will.
so we can get,
It's up to date.
so we can see if you need the budget.
Oh, yeah.
No.
If we can get back to what's supposed to be on the table right now,
I'm sorry.
which is procurement of a mower for the cemetery, may we possibly ask the finance director if she is aware of anywhere we might draw the funds to procure a mower for the cemetery?
Mr. Vaughn? While she's checking on something, let me make just a little comment here. When I was on the Corn Court, and I know it's past history, but every time I did budget, there was a voluntary millage for the Bearville Cemetery. It's voluntary. Now, let me make that very clear. You didn't have to pay it, but when you went in to pay your taxes, your property taxes, the millage, you could pay it or not pay it. Now, that raised extra money for the Bearville Cemetery. Would that be a feasible option for the water bill or something here as a voluntary millage or donation or whatever the case may be?
I mean, certainly, I think that funds could be donated. Apparently, funds have been donated in some extent. As far as attaching it to the water bill, I don't think that is necessarily feasible. But there could be possibly some other method of attaching it as a millage, possibly even like
A voluntary millage.
A
Let's keep the voluntary
Yeah.
in there because we're not going to tap them for.
Have to be online.
I'm sorry.
So much as even
Yeah.
our cities being paid online now.
And the finite details could be determined if y'all want to go out and talk to the treasurer. I believe is the assessor and the treasurer in Carroll County.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be.
I have a
know
special
who's it.
fondness for this project.
think Joanne.
So,
Mr. DeWitt.
sorry.
We're talking about putting this on our mid-year budget review, and I'm just going to go on what was discussed the last time when we talked about the mower, that it'll run, it'll shut down, it'll run, it'll shut down. Well, I know how frustrating it is when your car does the same thing, that there's some electronic thing involved that's not there, but no, you're telling me it runs, but then it stops. So they haven't found the problem yet. The fact that the mower is running tells me that the mower runs, but there's probably some little electronic something somewhere that's failing. So I would just assume, we keep trying to fix the mower and then get to the budget review and talk about what you all need for a budget and all. But I mean, the car runs, but there's some little something somewhere that somebody hasn't figured out that's causing it to shut down when it overheats, and once it cools off, it starts back up again. No offense, but that tells me you don't need a brand new mower. You need to find out what the problem is. So I'll just hesitate on buying a new mower at this point in time.
Okay. May I ask a question?
Yes, sir. You may.
A couple of weeks ago, I came and gave a report, and I appreciate your comment, and I totally agree, as long as we have something that's working. But again, I ask, how long and how much are we going to be able to pay to get it fixed each time? And is the cemetery responsible for just the parts, or the parts and labor? That was never really clarified. So maybe... Oh, I'm sorry.
We did this under my office, my department, and we figured we'd at least go out and check it and get it in an operable state. It may not be perfect, but it at least. And I don't sound hardcore about it, but It'll run for an hour and then 30 minutes if it takes for that to cool it off. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that you can still get a lot of hours of mowing in. And there again, I'm not trying to be
No.
negative here, but
No, and I'm not taking it as that.
okay.
And
We also found a couple of push mowers in the back of the garage that Jim's going to try to put together and make 1 or 2 operable push mowers. I know, but that can do the fine stuff, and then he can weed eat and push mow until the big mower gets ready to run again, until you can come up with a solution for this.
The cemetery does have 40-plus acres.
Yeah.
Just to let y'all know.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
One thing I'm wondering, okay, for all the costs that it's taking for the mechanic to come and work on this mower,
In the downtime.
why are we not using that money as the budget money to be able to allow them to buy tools and things necessary in the cemetery for our visitors and find the money to buy a mower?
Okay. This is basically the same thing as ambulance is. We keep
I know
putting them
that.
together and putting them together until we can afford the new ones.
I know.
And then,
I know more.
thank goodness you guys pulled through on the ambulance thing. Yes, ma'am.
No.
So here we are. It is June.
Yeah.
We haven't had our mid-year budget review or anything. I'm hoping we get that set up real soon. In the meantime, we have these people trying to run a cemetery on a shoestring budget. They're trying to get the job done with equipment that is not functioning quite a bit of the time. So they have the downtime when it doesn't run. They have the downtime when it's trying to be fixed. I really feel for these people who are trying to do a really good job
do too.
with
Yeah.
practically nothing. So again, since we are on this issue, I would like to ask the financial director right now if there is any place we can find the funds for a new lawnmower for the cemetery.
All right.
Please.
Nobody's mentioned the price yet, so you might as well throw that out on the table.
I believe the last time these gentlemen talked to us, they mentioned somewhere around 13 grand, perhaps. So I'm asking you if we could.
If I may, there was only just a couple of bids, well, not actual bids, but prices that we collected from area dealers. Used mowers and things like that we haven't checked into yet. They've been rebuilt and put back out on the market.
So
there are lots of options there.
Well, could you possibly give us a ballpark figure of, let's say a brand new one, just for the sake of discussion. What would a brand new lawnmower that would do what you need it to do, ballpark figure?
Between 10 to 13,000.
10 to 13 grand. So I'm asking you, Mr. Mayor, to please ask our finance director if there's anywhere we can come up with 10 to 13 grand for a new lawnmower. And I'd like an honest answer out of that.
We'll give you an honest answer. Okay?
Sure, that'd be great. Thank you.
Is there anywhere that you can come up with? We can pull it out of the air, or from. I don't know who we take it from, but
I know we don't want to spend this money, but
I know,
I'm just
I know.
asking.
I understand completely.
Well, it'll come out of your capital funds.
Mr. DeVito.
I'm not willing to proceed at this point in time when we have a budget committee coming up that's going to be looking at a budget for the cemetery. We've had one attempt at fixing the mower. It's kind of working. It's kind of not working. There's some... Excuse me. There's some little thing wrong with it. I know enough about machines that it takes a good mechanic to figure out what little solenoid's not working or what relay's not working. The actual mower is cutting grass. The engine is running, but there's something that overheats and shuts it down. So I would rather we go into a budgetary process. There may be some place that no offense, there may be somebody that needs the money more than a brand new mower.
Right.
But I'm not going to vote yay on buying a new mower tonight. I'll say that right now. So I would much rather defer this to proper procedure.
Yeah.
I understand my wife Susan's buried there, and I appreciate all that's done to the cemetery and all, but in good conscience, given the information that you all have relayed to us, I can't make that vote tonight.
If you guys will shop around for a good used one for the time being, that's a little more shallow on the price range, and around 5 to 7,
Yeah.
if that's feasible.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah.
And,
May I make one
Yes,
closing
absolutely.
comment? We're not expecting to walk out of here tonight with a new mower. I'm just glad and thankful that it was brought to the table and put on the agenda for discussion. If it continues to work, if the mechanic can keep it going, that's great for everybody. I mean, we could certainly use that $4, $5, $10,000 elsewhere, like on signage or
So much we need.
other stuff like that, instead of putting it on the mower. But right now, what we need is one that is reliable. And unfortunately, what the case has been is Tom will get out there and mow. It will stop. He calls the mechanic. When the mechanic gets there, I was out there today, and that's what happened.
And so-
It,
yeah.
Tom was mowing. It stopped. The mechanic was there, and it was working. And it wouldn't stop.
We were out there,
Yeah.
when was it, Tom? That's
Tuesday, yeah.
Tuesday, yeah. And it worked for a solid hour straight.
Yeah.
We were cursing at it to stop. Stop.
So, okay, if y'all will do that, Tom can shop around, and give us something that, and make sure it's in good reused vehicle, not something that just.
No, we're going to be coming back a week later.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Come on back. We'll talk to you.
Well,
We're good about that.
I would move to postpone this issue until the first meeting in July. Is that
I'll
okay?
second that.
Made and seconded, postpone. I need a drink. Till July meeting?
Two.
Third? Third. Any discussion?
The first meeting in
Yeah,
July?
yeah. First meeting in July. Okay?
Thank you.
All in favor,
Thank
say
you.
aye. Let's get a
Aye.
vote. Okay.
If I may,
Yes, Tom.
I would like to thank the city mechanic, Jim, I don't remember his last name, but
Blair.
for his
Jim Blair.
diligent efforts and attempting to keep it running for us. He is, like today, when it shut down on me, he was able to get there within 30 minutes. Fortunately, I wish he was a little closer, so when it shut down, he didn't have time to cool
Yeah.
down, and
Yeah,
he
I
could
know.
more address
Right there.
the initial problem.
We keep him pumping.
Yes, he was working on a police car today
Yeah.
that the rear end had been damaged in some way. So
Okay.
he was back and forth.
If you shop around, let us know.
Thank you, sir.
Send them office. Okay.
Thanks,
All right.
folks.
Any further guys on this? All right, thank you. All right, we'll go on to number 2.
Sir, I'd like to move for a break.
Second.
Okay, 5 minutes. We'd like to get done before 8 o'clock if that's possible. Yeah. See, time stood still. Okay, we're back in session. We just postponed item number 1 under new business, which was discussion of procurement of a mower for the cemetery until the July meeting. We're now on number 2, setting a date for a workshop on Freedom of Information Act, FOIA. Mr. Pownall and Ms. Ballance, motion to discuss.
Move to discuss.
Second.
Made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Ms. Ballance?
I'll defer to Mr. Pownall.
Mr. Pownall?
I'd just like to see us have a workshop on it, and I've also gotten information where other entities within the city government would also like to ensure that they're included in the training also.
Okay. Do we have a list of those yet?
Hospital for sure.
Okay. Then I guess we set it, Mr.
We're going to have some authority conduct the workshop.
Mr. Weaver, are you authority on Freedom of Information Act?
I know a little bit about it. I mean,
from having done this for 9 years, but I would suggest what you might want to do is see if, I believe David Schoen is the gentleman that's most expert at the league, and I know he's conducted workshops for the city attorneys at times. You might want to see if he would, I mean, if you want, and he is not available or some other person that's more knowledgeable is not available, I can give you an hour or two if you want. But I would suggest that since the league is meeting later this month, if someone can make contact with either Mr. Schoen or Mr. Hayes and see if one of them might be available in the near future, they might be a better source. Or there was a professor at the University of Arkansas at Fayetteville who had written the definitive book on the Arkansas law itself. And he might be available. I could check and see if he's still there. I'm not sure he's still there, but he was not too many years ago.
Y'all will have access to Mr. Schoen in a couple of weeks at the municipal league.
I would be willing to invite him to come speak to us.
Mr. DeVito?
Well, we might want to extend the invitation countywide, too.
Yeah, so I'd say
Good
open it
idea.
up to all the other agencies or the entities. So you'll put that in the form of a motion? That you make contact with him, or you just want to do this voluntarily?
I would be happy to do
Okay.
it voluntarily.
Because you'll have direct access to him face-to-face down there
Yes.
in a couple of weeks. Okay?
I
Mr.
would like
Pownall, is that satisfactory, sir?
That's fine by me.
Outstanding. Okay.
Postpone it until we hear from him.
Okay.
Okay, so let's postpone. I move to postpone this to the first meeting in July.
Second? Made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Item number 3 under new business, setting a date to discuss the budget process. Mr. Pownall and Ms. Ballance, motion to discuss.
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Discussion's open. Mr. Pownall?
One thing, again, I'd like to make sure that when we set the date that we aren't being shoved out the door by another commission meeting, and I think Thursday night seems to be or Thursday time frame seems to be a good one because that's when we got our council hat on. If we can look at a date in July for that.
Ms. Alexander?
I'd rather we do it in the daytime and be able to plan a day for it. And that way we're not rushed. If it ends up being a process that we could work with.
Doc, believe
Some of us have jobs.
yeah.
I do too.
Well, I'm not gonna cancel out my patients.
You're not going to make a day meeting. Let's
No,
put it
I'm
that
not
way.
gonna do
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Ms. Balance, you had your hand up.
I was going to request Monday if we were doing day meetings, but if we're not going to do day, I'm available in evenings.
Okay, I guess, Mr. DeVito, what's good with you, sir? Day, night?
Night's better for me than days.
Mr. Pownall?
Nights, as long as we aren't being pushed.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any particular night that would be best for Mr. DeVito?
Thursday works for me.
Okay. Set up on Thursday night.
7th.
The first Thursday night is the 7th.
The first Thursday night is the second. Or the first
Say
next one would be the
7th of
9th.
July. Are you June or July?
July. You want a June or July one? Which one?
It's up to the table.
Y'all pick it. This is where you get to do all this good stuff. Yes, ma'am.
I'm not sure what the budget workshop you're wanting to do right at this point. We generally do the budget workshop after I close June's financials for your 6 months, which would be by the 15th of July. And we generally do that during the course of the day, but I didn't know if you are including me in that situation too or not. So anyway.
Well, the next one would be July 21st, would be the first Thursday following that, which is a meeting night. 14th, she says she won't have them closed out till the 15th.
Usually by the 15th.
28th?
28.
Is everybody down for the 28th?
28th good with everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, July the 28th, what time you want to start?
7 o'clock.
Too late.
5 o'clock.
6:30?
I'd say 6 o'clock, our normal meeting time.
I'd be willing to do that.
What time?
6 p.m., July 28th. Is everybody cool with that?
Works for me.
6
Very
p.m.
good.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Not me. Nay.
Okay. Looks like the majority have it again. Okay, no further discussion. Number 4 is setting a date to discuss goals for the council. Mr. Pownall and Ms. Ballance. Motion to discuss.
Second.
Made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Discussion's open.
July 28th at 7 o'clock.
Do you
You think you can get enough budget process in an hour? I mean, it's your call. It's your
We're all
guys' call.
here.
Now you can
We're all here if it goes to.
you can
7:30.
incorporate it if that's what you're so inclined to do.
How about
Budget slash.
It'd make it convenient having it all in one night.
It would. How about
So-
a budget workshop or a goals for council workshop to follow budget workshop?
July-
Budget workshop slash goals. And if one goes shorter, longer.
You still want
then
to
the
start
other-
at 6?
5:30.
Good with everybody? 6 o'clock?
6 is good with me.
Okay.
6? All right.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Me.
Okay. All right, number 5 is vacation of Palo Pinto Planning Commission. Jan, I guess you're up.
Need to open their discussion.
Yeah. We'll open it, motion to discuss.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. You have the microphone now.
My name is Jan Grinnell, and I live at 5 Ojo. And I have the 5 Ojo Inn bed and breakfast. And I have a cottage sitting in the middle of Palo Pinto Street, which is a designated street that was never developed. And I have... Our maps are not fun. I'm not sure y'all could see this, but the property in red is mine, and the line in green, is Ojo Street as it was plotted out, but it's really Kings Highway now, most of it. And then the blue section, of course, I'd show you the wrong. Sorry. That's kind of how, as you're driving throughout the city, that's how it looks. But what I'm asking for